Hey, bud. I'm just curious for you in the first half. I think it's Javon and AJ. In the second half, it's George Hill, Wesley Matthews. What do you see from those two guys that you thought you needed in the second half?
George played in the first half, so we needed him tonight. And, I thought he was good in the first half, had a good run, and then obviously helped us a lot in the second half. And, Wes, we're kind of, without Giannis, looking for guys that can maybe have a body, have some size, have some physicality. He just brought a little edge. Defensively, we needed to be better in the second half. And, it's a credit to Wes. He's always ready. He works. He really helped us for that 6-minute stretch in the third quarter.
Just what do you think of your guys' ability to execute that switching scheme that you guys used in the second half?
Yeah, no, the guy's activity, the guy's, competitiveness, toughness, it showed. Overall, I thought the guys were great. They competed, they made it happen. It's a credit to just their toughness.
And then conversely, on the other side, Drew has 21 points in the second half. A lot of it came against switches, kind of taking control of the game. What did you see from him in the second half?
Yeah, he was phenomenal. He's had some good games for us. But I think that half and just controlling the game and, the 11 assists, the defense, just everything. He put us, kind of put us on his back. He had a heck of a game, heck of a half for sure.
We were talking about, Eric was just talking about how Matthews set the tone when he came in defensively, but it was 90-78 when he checked in, 42-29 in favor of the Bucks after that. And how did you think he affected the game, at least from the start, and maybe as the fourth quarter went on, when he took a little bit more of a backseat role in the offense? How do you think he affected it early with his passing and his cutting specifically?
Yeah, no, it was big. I didn't realize, the score. But the run to finish the third quarter, it was big. We didn't finish the first quarter well at all, the second quarter, and Wes was a big part of that. And he and George both, I think some cutting, some moving, getting inside the defense, kicking it out for threes. They're just, Wes is a smart player, and he did little things offensively, defensively. Guarding the post. He did a lot of things that help us close the gap and, ultimately have the run that you're talking about.
And that physicality you're talking about that he brings, did you think that was something that was lacking or was something that really changed, especially how things happened with McConnell in the second half when he entered the game? Do you think that was the difference in? He only scored 4 points in the second half, McConnell.
Yeah, no, just keeping him in front of us, keeping him out of the paint, was, he had 25 at half. He was 9 for 9. So anything to try and just, limit his penetration, limit his impact on the game. And, Wes just brings, like I said, a little bit bigger, the size, the physicality, that we needed tonight.
Going back to George Hill, he had a steal, and I think it then led to a three that then gave you all the lead, and it was on a switch. It was one of those switches that Eric was talking about. Just you've talked about his awareness defensively, but I'm just wondering if you could elaborate on it and what he brings in his experiences defensively.
Yeah, it's hard to really articulate, and there's steals, there's things that happen, there's just an awareness. No matter really what the scheme is, he's kind of seen and done everything defensively. His teammates trust him. He communicates at a high level on that end of the court. And he's another guy that just, there's a little bit of a physicality, there's a toughness, that understands, those little plays and those little things that go into winning.
And with Drew, what do you think of his ability to know when the team just needs him to go at it offensively and to pick his moments in that way?
Yeah, it's he's got a tough job. The point guard, he's kind of built to be unselfish, built to take care of others, and sometimes we need him to flip that switch. And I guess in essence take care of us, and by doing it himself to some degree. And he's got a great balance. He felt it tonight, and he had a great run, made some tough baskets, and that's what you need to win games like this.
Hey, Mike, I know it starts with defense, but how important was it for Bobby and Brooke to kind of have a bounce-back offensive games after those two in Miami, especially since Miles was able to kind of go inside-outside tonight?
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to have some guys step up and help, and both Brooke and Bobby, they had a little bit inside out. I don't know if Bobby made a three, but it felt like we were countering. Brooke with a couple great rolls and finishes. The little floater from George with about 2 minutes to go. That's what we need from Bobby and Brooke. When we're gonna have play without Giannis and. Grayson, all these guys, everybody I thought Jordan was really good. Jordan's second half was big. So a lot of guys stepped up. That's what happens when you play well and you win.
In the second half, you mentioned Jordan. I know they try to lob a pass into Turner, and he flies out of nowhere and kind of swats it. Just what do you think of his effort to kind of match what the vets were bringing you guys in the second half?
Yeah, I thought it was good. He's got size, athleticism, and when he's flying around, he can make things happen. So I thought he had some rebounds, did some different things. Obviously the offense, but on the ball, I thought he had some good competitive, keeping guys in front, things like that. So overall, really good game for Jordan. All right, thank you guys.
Hi, George. Before the game, Coach was talking about your comeback from the illness, and I was just wondering if you could talk a bit more about it, how the process has been the last couple of weeks. I know you lost some weight, but sounds like in the last week or two, things have improved a lot.
I mean, yeah, I'm fine. Just trying to figure it all out, staying ready for when my number is called, and today they called my number, so just try to go out there and help this team get back on the right track and try to win a game.
3 steals in the second half. What were you seeing out there as far as getting into passing lanes, or was it more a function of just like loose handles by the Pacers?
I mean, just being myself, trying to be aggressive defensively, trying to be a havoc out there, use my length and things like that. But just trying to get us back in the game. At that point, I think we were down double digits, and trying to spark some energy and get our defense to turn into something productive on the offensive end.
Feel good to get a win against your hometown team?
I mean, it's always a good win anytime you beat your hometown team. Some team that you grew up watching your whole life, getting the opportunity to play for them and spend a lot of years there. So familiar with all the people in the organization there, but it's always good to play home and definitely get a win.
Hey, George, you had a pair of threes today. Team had 23 made threes as well. Just what was working from you guys from beyond the arc?
I mean, I think they do a great job of, trying to force turnovers and things like that. So, like saying in the huddle, if we take care of the ball, make the extra pass, drive, kick, they're a paint swarm team that gets us opportunity to get some wide open threes. But I think mainly it was our defense. Our defense started to, create some missed shots to them. We wasn't taking the ball out the net the whole time and making them scramble.
And just playing on this day, MLK Day, just the significance, the importance of it for you guys as a team.
I mean, just keeping hope alive. What he stood for equality and things like that, giving yourself a platform to speak, going against the grain and things like that, honoring his name, something that will live forever. But to be able to play on this day, special day, and Dr. Martin Luther King Day is, I think, for a whole, it's good. Being an African American and trying to stand for something, to be able to say I played on this day, it always means something to me.
And finally, just you guys have been on such the forefront for social justice and change and all that. What have you loved the most about this team and their ability to forward that, and the teammates that you have that also embrace that as well?
I mean, mainly just speaking, standing up for what you believe in. Like I tell guys, don't change for anybody. Be yourself. No matter if people like it or not, at the end of the day, you can go to sleep at night saying that I am who I am, and if you like me, you like me. If you don't, we keep it moving. But We have one of the biggest platforms in the world to be who we are, to say the things that we wholeheartedly mean, and that's what we have to do.
George, I'm just curious for you in the third quarter. It felt like a big part of you guys kind of breaking stuff open offensively was you and Wes cutting into the right places offensively. Just how do you kind of try to find that feel knowing, hey, they might be doing different things defensively or kind of giving them a different look?
I mean, we've been there for a while now, just waiting for our opportunity, seeing the game. But me and Wes have been around the block plenty of times, so it's nothing that's not familiar with us. But we stay ready, and it's just able to get back on the court and find some breaks here and there. But just rooting for the team to try to get stops and put some easy ones together. And I think we did a great job as a team, as a collective group, of forcing some turnovers, getting some easy shots.
Hi, George. With several key players out of the lineup today, a lot of guys stepped up, including yourself. What can the team learn from a victory like this, especially with guys missing?
I mean, it's always a next man up mentality. All year we've been having guys in and out the lineup, either here one game or missing a couple games. So we've been trying to find different, rotations and things like that, and been tweaking the lineup a little bit. But just having the next man up mentality, when your number's called, go out there and do the best you can.
George, I asked Drew about you after the game, about your impact, about the steals, the assists, and he said George and Wesley are the ultimate professionals. And I'm wondering what goes into being just that, the ultimate professional?
I mean, first, being humble. When you get taken out the lineup and things like that, staying ready, being positive, being encouraging, always believing in yourself, knowing that you can continue to play. But also just being a professional. When your number's called, be ready. Don't make excuses. Take it for what it is and have fun doing your job. We wake up every morning getting to come into this organization with these teammates that I have that I love dearly and go to work with them every day. It's fun. So not taking it for granted, but taking every moment day by day and just have fun doing it.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.